Hi guys, welcome to my first episode in my new series of Tech Hub. This series is all designed to give you some guides on technical stuff to do with drumming and YouTube, as well as reviewing equipment that I use as a drummer and a YouTuber. Our first episode is a top 5 tips on how to put a collaboration together, whether it being a drum and drum collaboration or any form of collaboration. So my first tip is the song choice. Now it's very important that you have consistency throughout your YouTube channel, and whoever you're going to work with, if it being another drummer or a musician, choose a song that suits both of your styles. If not, this will stand out like a sore thumb in your channel and you could potentially lose some of your target audience. Second tip is to make sure that you use the same audio track to lay down the cover. Okay, there are multiple versions of the same song, and even within the type of file you use, the bitrate and other factors can make the tempo off even a little bit. So when you do record your part of the collaboration, make sure you play along to the same file as the people that you're collaborating with. My third tip today is about improvisation when it comes to definitely the drumming side of things. So as you know, I like to do a note for note cover perfect. So I haven't found this with my collaborations because the person that I've collabed with is the one that's doing the improv. My tip for you, if you do both want to do some improv whilst you're playing, is that you don't do it at the same time. This way, you're following the very basics of the drum and the beat, and then the other drummer can go off and do some improv whilst you keep that pattern and the very basics of the song going. Sure, you can both improvise, but perhaps not at the same time, and make sure kind of the start and the end of the improv and the fills or whatever you're doing gets back in line with the song, so that when it comes to syncing everything will match up. My fourth tip is all about the video settings. Now, the resolution doesn't really matter, so maybe one of you is recording in 4K or 1080p or 720. It really doesn't matter when it comes to the sync of the collaboration. Now, what does matter is that it's the same frames per second. Now, there is a solution to this if you do have a different frame per second setting as the person you're collaboration with, and I'm going to cover that in my next Tech Hub on how to fix any kind of sync issues with video there. So be sure to watch to the end to find out what my next episode is. But to help the sync of the collaboration, it's very important that you just match your frame rates. So 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. This will make the sync a lot easier. As you know, for my collaborations, it's all the musicians are on the screen at the same time, so everything needs to be in perfect sync. I've seen other collaborations where you guys are kind of mixing in each other's angles and you're not on the same, but this tip I think applies to all. This will really help you sync up everything, and like I said, if you still might find you have issues with this, I know I do with my GoPro. It's supposed to be 60 frames per second and actually translate at 59.97. So when I'm syncing it to my iPhone footage, which is 60 frames per second, after about 3 minutes, everything gets out of sync just because of the little frames per second. But like I said, I'm going to show you how to fix that in my next Tech Hub episode, which I'll announce at the end. Okay guys, so tip number 5 and my last tip on this episode is about mixing the audio. Now originally when I started doing collaborations, I used to use the drum only audio, and that's the first part of it. Whoever you're working with, make sure you guys just have recorded your drums only, not with the backing music or anything. And then that way you can sync that with each other and the background music separately. Now, like I was saying, when I originally started doing collaborations, I would mix the audio separately in Logic Pro. But due to reasons like I just mentioned about syncing frames per second and getting everything spot on, I actually find it a lot easier, and I actually mix the audio in whatever video software you use. So I use Final Cut Pro. So if my tip for you here is to you know, have the video of each part, you know. So let's just, for example, let's use two drummers in the scenario. Both drummers both have their footage, drum only audio synced into that footage, and then if there is any sync issues, you can adapt the footage and you can speed things up and slow stuff down so it syncs. Now, the reason I say to mix it in the actual video and not audio separately is because if you do have to change anything, it's almost impossible to get the audio to sync. So if you're syncing audio and video at the same time, this will really match up, and this is probably my biggest tip. Okay guys, so that is my 5 top tips on how to make a collaboration. If you have any further questions, please write in the comments below. As for this tech series, anything you want to know at all, please give me some suggestions. You can reach out to me on all my social media, so that's Drums by Ash Wells on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. My email address is also listed on my channel as well as my website. My next episode, which will be coming in February, is how I make a drum cover using Final Cut Pro. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you've liked it. Please subscribe to me, and I'll see you next time.